Hello, I'm Miss Amy, and this is the first Saturday story time of spring. So let's sing a good morning song to spring. Good morning to you, and how do you do? I'm happy to see you. Good morning to you. Have you ever noticed what other song the good morning song sounds like? It has the same melody? Yeah, happy birthday, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Freddie. Happy birthday to you. Today is a very special birthday. It's the first day of spring. Here is a beautiful song written by our beautiful birthday boy for a beautiful day like today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? That song was written by today's birthday boy, Fred Rogers. You ever heard of him? I don't know, you might have heard of Mr. Rogers. Do you know this guy, Daniel Tiger? He's the guy who created Daniel Tiger. But before that, when he was alive, he's no longer alive, but he made a live action show for your parents and even maybe some of your grandparents when they were kids. And maybe you've seen it too in reruns or on the internet, because a lot of people, your grown-ups, your parents and grandparents, loved it so much that they probably shared it with you. He's special around here, or at least one of the reasons his show is special around here is that he made the show in Pittsburgh. There's a statue of him in the city. See? Maybe you've been there. You could have. Even more special to me personally is that he grew up very close to where I grew up in Westmoreland County. That's one county over from here. In the town that had my library in it, Latrobe. Imagine, okay, if any of you out there, you live in 84 or Muse or someplace like that, and you come here to the library, that's the way it was for me and the Latrobe Library when I was a kid. So it's kind of like me and Mr. Rogers have the same hometown. Kind of. Anyway, we have a lot of good books at this library, both about and by Mr. Rogers, that you can check out. But the book I've decided to read today is specifically about what made Mr. Rogers special, not just to the people in the Pittsburgh area, but to people all over. He helped kids, and grown-ups too, understand their feelings. Fred's Big Feelings, The Life and Legacy of Mr. Rogers. Written by Laura Renauld, illustrated by Brigette Barrager. Hello, neighbor. It's a beautiful day. Come in, look around. What do you see? This is the closet filled with Mr. Rogers' cardigans. His mother knitted each one. And here's where he changes his shoes. Sneakers are more comfy, don't you think? Now settle in, Mr. Rogers is ready to visit with you. You may know Mr. Rogers as America's favorite television neighbor, but before that, he was Freddie Rogers, a quiet boy with big feelings. Freddie was shy, and he had trouble making friends. He felt sad when his schoolmates overlooked him. bullies taunted Freddie about his weight. He felt scared when they chased him home. And when asthma kept him indoors for much of the summer, he felt lonelier than ever. Freddie took refuge at the piano. Soon his feelings were flowing through his fingertips. Worry fretted and fussed and faded away. Sadness wailed and whimpered and waned. Anger crashed and clattered and calmed. Music allowed Freddie to express himself, but it was his grandfather McFeely's message of unconditional love that boosted Freddie's self-esteem. You made this day a really special day just by being yourself, and I happen to like you just the way you are. Gradually, with Grandfather McFeely's words tucked inside his heart, and music as his confidante, Fred grew. In high school, when a football injury landed a popular player in the hospital, Fred was there to bring Jim's homework to him. Dynamic friendship developed between the two. Jim accepted Fred. He vouched for him and encouraged him. Fred's confidence soared. He became a leader. He felt valued and respected. How deeply one person can affect the life of another. In the spring of 1951, Fred's path was clear. He would graduate from college, then attend the seminary to become a minister. But the new television set at his parents' house changed his plans. A children's show caught his attention. It left him feeling shocked. To Fred, television had potential. What if he could create a thoughtful alternative show to the endless pranks and jokes and gags that fill the current programming? What if a TV show could leave someone feeling welcomed, loved, even special? Fred was determined to find out. His opportunity came at WQED. Do you watch that station? Yeah, it's a Pittsburgh station. America's first community-supported television station. In 1954, Fred and his colleague Josie Carey created the Children's Corner. It was filled with Fred's music, Josie's laughter, and many puppets, which Fred animated from behind the scenes. His hunch that television could build a community while being entertaining and educational proved correct. Their show was a hit. The Children's Corner was performed live and mainly improvised. After it went off the air, Fred wanted to be more intentional about the content of his shows. So in 1968, Fred started airing his own program, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now Fred was in front of the camera as the show's host. He welcomed children with his songs, encouraged his visitors' curiosity, and honored his grandfather by naming a character after him, Mr. McFeedy, that speedy delivery man. But above all, Fred focused on feelings. Silly, shy, selfish. He addressed them all. Look, Mr. Rogers feels playful. He's taking a juggling lesson. Mr. Rogers feels sad. One of his goldfishes died. Mr. Rogers feels welcoming. He invites Officer Clemens to soak his feet. Mr. Rogers feels joyful. He visits with special guests like cellist Yo-Yo Ma, dancer Ying Li, jazz trumpeter Wynton Marsalis, and even Coco the gorilla. We have a book about her in this library too. Now listen, here comes the trolley. Ding ding, toot toot. It's a world of make-believe. The small tiger feels worried. What if a falling star lands on his clock? The king's niece is feeling generous. She offers orange juice to each of her friends. The rosy-cheeked lady feels angry. She turns a tower upside down. Toot toot, ding ding. See you next time. See all the different different emotions we're talking about here? Grandfather McFeely knew Fred was one of a kind, and now America's children did too. All over the country, viewers were beginning to depend on his steady, caring presence. But in 1969, when Fred's show was only 1 year old, the government threatened to cut the funding for public television. So Fred stepped off the set of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and into a hearing on Capitol Hill to make his feelings known. In front of a Senate committee, Fred testified about the important work of childhood to learn how to express emotions constructively. Even though Fred felt mad, he didn't shout or blame or raise his voice. Instead, he recited a song that he'd written for his show called "What Do You Do With the Mad That You Feel?" In it, he encouraged children, and the grown-ups, to draw on their inner strengths to communicate anger in healthy ways. A hush fell over the room during Fred's quiet, passionate testimony. The tough committee chairman, Senator Pastore, even got goosebumps. "Looks like you just earned that $20 million for your station," he remarked. By sharing his feelings, Fred Rogers secured the funding for public broadcasting. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood would be on the air for years to come. In nearly 900 episodes from 1968 to 2001, Mr. Rogers broadcasted affection, compassion, and respect for his audience. His message was clear. It's normal to have feelings. It's good to talk about feelings. It's important to share feelings. And the best part? Everyone expresses their feelings in their own special way. Our visit with Mr. Rogers has come to an end. It's time for him to feed the fish, change out of his sneakers, and hang up his sweater. Now listen. Mr. Rogers has a message just for you. You always make each day such a special day. You know how? Just by being you. There's only one person in the whole world like you, and people can like you exactly as you are. That's such a good feeling. What are you feeling today? Feelings can be complicated, and it's possible you're feeling more than one thing at a time. What we're going to do is fill out this heart with what you're feeling right now. You can draw pictures, make designs, or just use different colors that express the way you're feeling and how much of your heart is taken up with that feeling right now. If you did not have a grab-and-go bag from the library and you did not get a paper like this, you could just draw a big heart and color it with whatever you're feeling. So let me think. What am I feeling right now? I think I'm mostly feeling caring and interested, excited to share these stories with you. So I think I'm going to make the middle of the heart a hug. A big hug. I'll put around in a circle. There's a little hug. A hug for you. And because I really like sharing stories, I'm going to put a book in there. And since blue is my favorite color, and I'm sharing my favorite books with you, I'm going to make it a blue book to show that's what's taking up most of my heart, is I want to share this book with you. There's some other feelings I'm having too. I'm not having all good feelings. I got hurt recently, and I have a little bit of a headache. The headache feels orange, and it feels scratchy. So a little bit here, I'm going to put my headache. But look, that's just a little bit of a headache and a big lot of love for books and you. What else am I feeling? I'm thinking about my kids who are doing their schoolwork at home and hoping they do a good job. So I'm going to put a little bit of, I guess I'll make it a computer at the bottom for my kids. And I'm going to put a little heart on the computer saying, I hope my kids are doing okay at home. And I was like, I feel a little bit sad. I read a sad story earlier. I'm thinking about that story. And put little teardrops right at the top, but it's just a little bit, and it's a made-up story too. So I'm not going to have too many sad teardrops. But you know what else I'm feeling? Thirsty. Good thing I have water. So I'm going to get some more blue for water and put in my thirsty. We'll wash the water away up in the top corner of my heart. There we go. I think I'm feeling more thirsty than I am headachy or sad, so I will make the thirst bigger. You know what? I don't think this one's big enough. Let me see. You know what? I'm going to add to that. I'm feeling curious what you're feeling. So what can I add to this that would be curious? I think maybe I'll do a magnifying glass. I'm looking very carefully. I'm curious what you're all coloring in your paper. And I'm hopeful. I'm looking forward to something. I'm going to put a big sun. The sun will come out tomorrow. I'm hopeful that I will see you again next month for another fun story time. So now, you remember the end time song? Tickle the stars, tickle your toes, turn around, tickle your nose, reach down low, reach way up high. Story time is over, so say goodbye. But if there's still feelings that you want to add to your heart, don't make us stop now. You can keep going until your whole heart shows on the page. Love to you. You're special just the way you are.